All right, hello everyone. Thank you for joining. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for returning. I'm just going to dive straight into this reading today. Immediately, I was getting ungrounded, need to go forest bathing, and needing to reconnect to your soul. Listen to your heart. That was the original messages that was coming through before I obviously even picked up a deck. So this has been my deck of choice recently. Which is, so anyway. Wow, this card's a lot to say. Okay. Oh, I was going to stop, but I just heard no continue, so... I was told, do I take this? No, I was told don't forget the bottom of the deck. Alright. Talkative. We are going to see what's going on here. Five of Pentacles. Starting off, we're coming from a place, this collective is starting off coming from a place of black. Now, what I find interesting is that the Judgment card comes right after that. Then we've got a Five of Swords. So, this collective has had a lot of serious struggles, is what I'm getting. This collective has really had a hard time. It's really had its struggles. It's really, sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what I actually hit. It's because I was adjusting myself on the chair. But interesting that happened during the reading, because I've been in this chair working for 9 hours today at the time that I'm filming this. So it's interesting that only happened now when I'm in this office 6 days a week working 8 hours a day. So that might be indicative of something for someone, but there's a lot going on here, and I knew that because Spirit was one card after another, okay? And it's a really talkative deck today, I'm gonna say. You guys have really struggled. You guys have really struggled with the concept of poverty, and I mean this collective knows poverty. Okay, it's not the level of poverty of I wasn't able to afford a new iPhone. This collective knows poverty. They know what it's like to go without food. Okay, they know what it's like to go without... I'm getting a lot of interruptions. I want to stop for a second because I'm getting a lot of interruptions. We had that case, I don't even know, something that fell down from my desk. I just had my watch go off. Again, there's a lot of interruptions in this collective. So I want to stop here and address the fact that I am 4 minutes, really only like 2 minutes into the actual reading because I was blubbering in the beginning. And we have had a lot of interruptions, and this has been your life, is interruptions in flow, right? I feel like that's really significant, the level of interruptions. I've never had this many cards come out so quickly in a reading. I've never had, I shouldn't say never, but it's not common. If you watch my videos on this channel, you know that this is not a common practice that I have, to have one card after another come out. I've not had this many interruptions back to back occur on this channel either. Again, that's not common. So there's something with this collective, that energy that this collective has, that is significant to you guys, okay? I was talking about poverty. Let's go back to the reading. I was talking about poverty, okay? This collective knows poverty. You know what it's like to go without food, okay? That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you guys know what it's like. This isn't like first world poverty. This isn't like... Okay, this isn't privileged poverty where, oh, well, I didn't get a new MacBook. This is you had the power turned off level of poverty, okay? This collective knows poverty. Some of you might have also in this collective been homeless at some point, okay? Coming through here, right? Judgment coming through. guys have needed to rise up again and again and again against people who were fighting against you. People who immediately wrote you off because of your circumstances. Okay, you would have been told, this collective would have been told at times that you were being dramatic when you described your circumstances to some people. This collective would have been told that they're overthinking things, that they're not being reasonable. Okay, Five of Swords, conflict, right? Learning to find peace in conflict. I'm getting a message here that because of the upbringing, because of the experiences this collective had, we also have the Devil card coming up. The Devil card traditionally represents addictions and struggles with different types of addictions. This could be food, this could be substances, this could be alcohol, gambling. That might also be why this collective struggled with poverty, is because of something like a gambling addiction or some sort of substance addiction. Okay, that's coming through really strongly, actually. And that would have also created conflicts here with this Five of Swords. Okay, struggle to find peace. This collective really struggled to be satisfied with themselves. You really struggled to be satisfied with your life. You really struggled to find yourself. You really struggled with your past, your upbringing. Yeah, Six of Cups energy also. You really struggled with your upbringing and your childhood and reconciling that. Okay, guys have a lot of life experience in this collective. A lot of life experience. You have been through some ish. This collective is not lighthearted. Okay, and what I mean by that is this collective is not naive to the world. This collective is quite jaded. Okay, you were jaded from a young age. I'm hearing 13. Okay, so for a lot of you, something happened around the ages of 13 that really changed, removed that naivety and perception. You had to grow up really fast. Okay, really fast. This collective. Some of you, I'm getting the vibe that some of you had to get like married off, or like you went into a serious relationship really young. This collective did. Okay, you've had your battles. You have had your battles. Right, you lost your creativity. Okay, this Page of Cups. There was a loss of creativity for a really long time. What I'm getting is, though, that despite all of that, despite being written off, okay, and you had, this really bothers me, I think, because it hits home with me, because I also was written off. You guys were really written off. And I mean, like, literally people had no hope for you. Like, literally, I kind of want to cry. Literally, people had no hope for you. Literally, I'm feeling that. How do I describe this? There was a time in your life, and this collective is out of that time or almost out of that time at the time that you will be watching this. Okay, you are not in this energy anymore. There's a time in your life when you did it all alone. You had no choice but to do it all alone. Okay, I'm getting, this card. The person's alone. Five of Swords, standing alone, sitting alone, sorry. The Judgment card even, you're alone. Okay, Knight of Cups. Okay. There's a lot of this, and then of course bottom of the deck was the Hermit, okay, which I was told to pull bottom of the deck, and that's alone. Okay, that's being alone. There's a lot of energy of being alone. Okay, you were written off, right? People did not have faith in you. They didn't believe you were going to get out of the situation. Okay, the funny part to this, and I don't mean funny haha, I mean funny more ironic, I suppose, is not only did you get out of the situation, but now there's people who had written you off are looking at you and they're starting to get a little jealous. They're starting to look at you and get a little jealous because not only did you overcome, not only did you pick yourself up when no one was there to help you, when no one was around to help you, when no one was supporting you, not only did you pick yourself up, but you also started creating a life that you wanted to live. You don't want to be in survival mode anymore. So you decided, okay, I'm going to create a life that is the life that I want to live. Page of Woe. Page of Cups here. Interesting that this is the card that dropped, right? Almost like for a while you guys gave up. This collective, you almost gave up. You were in a dark place, this collective. You were in a dark place. You were in so dark of a place most people do not understand. Most people don't get it. Even people close to you, siblings, parents, step-parents, guardians, friends, they do not get it. Okay, they don't realize. Right, while they were writing you off, right, you were working to rewrite your life. This is not a joke group. This is not a group that is like lighthearted by any stretch of the imagination. This is a heavy energy. This is an energy that has seen darkness. This energy, this collective has seen evil. You have looked evil in the eye and you have walked away from it, is what I'm hearing. This collective has walked away from situations that other people would never in their wildest dreams ever even dream would have occurred. And you're moving forward now. Because you saw so much darkness, because you saw so much evil, you're not settling. You know now. You know in your heart of hearts, in the deepest core of your being, this didn't kill you. And these people wrote you off thinking that you were going to end up dead, and you didn't. And you are the phoenix. You are rising from the ashes. Not only are you rising from the ashes, you are creating a bigger and better life than what they have. And they are jealous of you now. They're looking at you and they're going, I don't even know how you got here. That's what they're thinking. I don't know how you got here. How did so-and-so get here? How did he do this? How did she do this? You were nothing. You had nothing. You were homeless on the streets, an addict, a gambler. How did you get to where you are now? You have worked really hard to find peace within yourself, to find peace in the chaos. That has taken you a long time, this collective. I want to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge how proud I am of you that you survived. Not only did you survive, you are working to live. Because surviving's not good enough for you. You know how to survive. This collective knows how to survive. You're now working on knowing how to live. And people now are looking at you and they're getting jealous of you. Now they're looking at you and they're giving you the side eye because, whoa, really? You, of all people? That's what they're saying. And you don't even care. This collective, you're working on not giving a damn. I'm hearing Jody Messina, My Give a Damn's Busted. There's a song, it's an old 90s country song. My Give a Damn's Busted. You know, that's this collective. My Give a Damn's Busted. You think whatever, you say whatever about me. Where were you when I needed you? Where were you? They were nowhere to be found. They were busy gossiping about you and talking smack about you and how their lives were going to be so amazing and yours was going to be nothing. And now look how the tables have turned. Look how they've turned. Who's the laughing stock now? Because it's not you. It is not you. You're not where you want to be, this collective. I know that. I recognize that. I'm not naive here. I'm not this reading, okay? You're not where you want to be. But you are nowhere where you were. And you, this collective, needs to be proud of that. I'm getting really emotional. This collective needs to be really proud of that. You are nowhere near where you were. You are nowhere close. And you're working to do better. And people now, they're looking at you and they're going, uh-oh. Okay, Queen of Wands. This is not an energy to muck about with. Queen of Wands knows what she wants. She knows where she's going. She knows what she's going to get. Look at the face. There's determination here. There is, I'm going to go for what I want and nothing, absolutely nothing is going to stop me. That's you guys. That's this collective. Nothing is going to stop you. There is a determination here. There is a decision that you made in the pits of hell. I don't know how many of you are Lord of the Rings fans, but this is giving me Balrog vibes right now. In Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf fights the Balrog. That's what this is. That's what this is. This is the Balrog. This was your Balrog. This was your shadow. This was the thing of the deep that was hiding in wait underneath everything that they thought had killed you. They thought, just like everyone thought with Gandalf, they thought you had died. They thought that you were done. They thought that your Balrog was going to kill you. And just like you not only defeated, you came up stronger, powerful, with more faith, more trust in God, more faith, more understanding than ever. More resources than ever. More power than ever. Ace of Cups popping up. You're reshaping how you view things. You've really worked on your emotional health, in particular this collective. You've had to. You've had to. The funny part is that this development for this collective was not a choice. This development for this collective was a must. Most people in the Western society, at least, come from a level of privilege. They have not seen this level of darkness, right? And they did not have to go. They chose to, if they so chose. They chose to do the therapy. They chose to do the spiritual work. They chose to do the emotional work. This collective did not choose. For you, it was not a choice. For you, not being spiritual is not a choice. For you, not being religious. For some of you, you're also religious. You're not just spiritual. You are associated with some religion of your choosing. It's not a choice. It is a necessity for you to live. And others don't get it. There's people around you, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, group. I really am resonating with this reading right now. There are others in the spiritual community. They don't get it either. They don't get it. Because for them, they choose their spirituality every single day. For you guys, your spirituality is your essence and the reason you are alive. If you lose your spirituality, you will die. That is your mindset. This is not a choice. You do not choose to work on your emotional health. There was no other option. You had to work on your emotional health. You did not choose to start this new journey, this new pathway. I do also want to say that I find it interesting in the camera. It's changing the color ever so slightly. The card is seeming brighter than what it is, which I really find interesting because I'm looking at this card in person and it's a little bit more shadowy than what it seems to be in the camcorder. And I'm finding that really interesting. You took the darkness and you know you are this collective is the true alchemists. You know how to take darkness and move it into light. You know how to shine light on the darkest parts of yourself. This collective, I'm hearing you've worked through shame, you've worked through guilt, you've worked through suicidal ideation for some of you. Not for some of you, but I'm trying to be a little bit polite here. You've worked through it. You've seen the light. Okay, for some reason I'm getting, you've seen the light. Like you've literally seen the light. You were that close to not making it. You have seen the light. You nearly walked through the doorway into the light. You nearly did it. This collective nearly walked through the doorway into the light. You didn't, but you almost did. That's how close you were. That's how close this collective was. The Hermit, right? This collective went away for a while. You guys actually might still be going away. The Hermit energy is coming up really strong here. Okay, the Hermit is an interesting card in general, right? Because the Hermit deals with really dealing with everything that I've been talking about for the past 20 minutes almost. It's about going inward and finding your spirituality. You are the hermit. This collective is the hermit. You have embodied that. You have embodied this energy really well. At the start of this, I mentioned about grounding. And I think that's because I'm hearing that this collective values their peace above everything else. And grounding your energy and grounding your space and being in a space to ground your peace in all the chaos, whether it's chaos in your life or chaos of the world. This group is not sacrificing that no more. You're not sacrificing that no more. This is not, it's not an option. I just keep hearing this wasn't an option for me. There was nothing else. I'm hearing I can hear this collective as if they're talking to people, and I hear you going, don't you understand? There was nothing else. I had no other choice. There was nothing else. That's what I'm hearing. This collective that is going to click on this, that's what I'm hearing. There was no other choice. This was it. This is all I had. It's almost like this collective, there's people in your life who don't believe you. There's people in your life who you feel aren't listening. Or even worse, people that you feel don't even care. They wrote you off and they basically left you for dead and they don't even care. And I'm hearing you just need to let that go. As hard as that's going to be, as much as that's going to hurt, you need to let those people go, even if they're family. For some of you, and I am so sorry this is the case, for some of you it's your parents, some of you it's siblings, for some of you it's people you thought were friends, and they wrote you off in the darkest, most horrible time of your life. The Star. This is a beautiful card to come up right now because this has been a pretty dark and heavy reading. I'm not going to lie. This has been a really dark, heavy, and emotional reading, and we have the Star coming up. The Star comes in tarot in the sequence of cards, in the sequence of the Major Arcana. It comes after the Tower card. And there's many depictions of the Tower card depending on the deck you use, but the most common one that you're probably familiar with is people being thrown out of the tower. Lightning's hitting the tower. People are being thrown out of the top window to the ground. You guys weren't just thrown from the tower. You were buried underneath the rubble. And then when they bulldozed that tower, you were buried underneath that bulldozer. Okay, the Star for this collective is so much more than just coming out of the tower. This is reshaping your life, reshaping your dreams, reshaping who you are as a person, finding yourself, finding God. I'm hearing some of you found Jesus in the deepest and darkest areas. Some of you changed religions, converted. They're showing me some of you got baptized. I don't know why you're actually watching a reading if you got baptized. That's interesting. Some of you do like Christian mysticism of sorts. That's why you're watching the reading. That's really interesting that that's coming up in this collective. You came out. You're literally a new version of you. People don't get it. They don't get it. Right? You're literally a new version of you. You're literally this new person. You are not who you were 2 years ago. You are not who you were last year. This collective is true alchemists. This collective has this amazing ability, and I want to say that this ability is going to become really important in terms of the collective world sphere in the upcoming years. Okay, this collective is going to this ability to be in the darkest of situations and still see the light and still have hope and still fight. That's something that's going to become really important. That's needed. That energy is needed. Sometimes you ask, why did I survive? That's why you survived. You survived because that light, that energy is needed. You're meant to lead other people. You're meant to teach other people how to bring that light out, how to bring that hope out, how to bring that fight out in them. Your star moment is more powerful than anyone, including yourself, especially yourself, could have even imagined. Got Knight of Wands and Four of Pentacles. I want to focus on this one as well, which is Six of Swords. I want to focus on this card actually for a second, on the imagery here. This is you. I'm being told this is you. There's another song coming through with this collective, country song. Bringing the Angels by Trisha Yearwood. And you're not just bringing the angels. You're bringing the archangels. You're bringing the angels. You're bringing the entire animal kingdom. You're bringing every guide that there is. You guys have power. You've got mystical power. You've got intuition. I don't think this collective fully understands it yet, honestly. I don't think you fully get how powerful you are. I don't think you get how much you have inside of you, how much healing you've got inside of you. What you survived was not for the faint of heart. And it was not for you to just live under a rock and read books and write for the rest of your life. They're really saying that they're literally like, this is you. This is what you are embodying. You are leading the way. And this massive lion here, right? That's your protector. That's your protector. Ain't nothing getting through that. It's giving me Aslan vibes. If you guys know Chronicles of Narnia, this card is giving me, with this lion here, it's giving me Aslan vibes. With this card. You also have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, you're holding on to money now. For those of you that your devil moment had partially to do with something like gambling, like severe poverty, you're now learning to hold on to money. You now have gone a little bit to the other side of things, and this is more of a warning of balancing things out. Right? You've now decided that you're going to save, and you're not going to purchase anything. There's a sense here of balancing things out. Okay, just remembering to balance things out. There's going to come a time where all those savings are going to come in handy for you to reach your dreams. Okay, you've got Six of Swords. This is a really interesting depiction of the Six of Swords. You guys have left behind a lot. You guys are moving towards brand new things, brand new journeys, brand new destinations, brand new adventures. I'm hearing. I'm also hearing like new ideologies. You guys have shifted. You guys are constantly shifting. That's part of what makes you so powerful. You guys don't muck at this collective. You don't muck about. You do not muck about. You're not here to be sitting and moping. When something needs to change, you're changing it. When something needs to move, you're moving it. When a mountain needs to be climbed, you're climbing it. There's none of this mucking about, moping about. That's not this collective whatsoever. You're moving forward on all of your plans. Didn't I tell you you're bringing the angels? You're bringing the angels. You are so protected now. You know it. This collective knows it. I think this collective is really aware that you could not have survived what you survived without having some level of divine protection. You could not have been through what you went through without having some level of divine protection. Whether you want to call that God, whether you want to call that spirit, whether you want to call that spirit guides, whether you want to call that universe, great spirit, I don't care how you name it. You guys have some level of very extreme divine protection. And you know that. This collective, you're not questioning that. You're not questioning what I'm saying. You know. You're like, yeah, I did. How else did I survive? That's your attitude. How else did I survive if I was not divinely protected? It was impossible. Not really difficult. I was about to say it was really difficult. It was not really difficult. It was impossible for you to see that when you were in the throes of all the ish. When you were in the throes of all the ish, it was impossible for you to see any level of godliness and any level of divine protection. And now that you have stepped in, now that you're starting to lead the way and you stepped into that power, now you see. Now you're looking and you're like, yeah, I'm bringing all the angels. Even if you're not into country music, I think that this collective, Bringing the Angels by Trisha Yearwood. Somebody I'ma get here on the line, tell 'em I need a word. They've been throwing stones at me, and some of y'all might have heard. Yeah. Oh yeah. They weren't just throwing stones. They were throwing everything. They were throwing everything. They were throwing knives, they were throwing axes, they were throwing flamethrowers. They had everything against you. You showed them, didn't you? You showed them. Here there's one more card. Here we go. Page of Pentacles. Bottom? No. Yes. Not yet. Interesting. They said not yet for the bottom. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Guys are doing new things. You're expanding outside of your comfort zone. Studying, learning is really important right now. Some of you are going to be teachers. Actually, I think all of you in this collective are going to be teachers. You're just trying to figure out what to teach. I think the problem that this collective has compared to other groups is that this collective has so much that they know. You have so many different skill sets. You've got so many skills in so many different areas that now, this Page of Pentacles, your problem isn't necessarily that you need to learn more. It's that you need to learn how to organize everything that you know so you can teach people all about it. It's about learning the little things. You know, I'm hearing like learning marketing, advertising, things like this. It's about those things. It's not about, typically when the Page of Pentacles comes up, it's about, in order to move forward into the next chapter, there's something you need to learn. There's something you don't really know. This collective, there's really not much you need to learn at this point. What you need to do is take everything you know and put it in the library. You need to put it in the library. You need to organize it. That's what this collective needs to do. That's what this collective needs to do. It's really interesting because I'm not saying that this collective doesn't read, and I'm not saying this collective doesn't like to learn, because I do think that that's something you guys do, obviously. You wouldn't have gotten this far if you don't enjoy learning, and if you don't enjoy reading of some sort, or watching documentaries or something of that nature. But what I'm hearing is, you have so much to teach others. Don't underestimate what it is you know. Don't underestimate that. I'm hearing you're feeling lonely, and that's not going to last for long. That's what I'm hearing. You're feeling lonely, that's not going to last for long. Leave it. Alright. Okay. 5 of Wands. Yeah. There's going to be people who are going to pop up from your past. Bottom? No. There's going to be people who pop up from your past. There's going to be people who are trying to get into a new space, who are trying to sabotage you. Those people don't know you very well. Some of you are worried about that. I don't know why you're worried, actually. for this collective. I don't get why you're worried. I don't get why you're worried about someone potentially sabotaging you, because they don't have a chance. There is no hope in hell that they're going to sabotage you. You have been through way too much to just have some little winky dinky person sabotage you. Yeah. Seven of Swords. Look at this. Look at this. Is perfect. This card, this depiction of Seven of Swords. This is you, the collective. You see all these people in town? You see how you're talking to them, how you're teaching them. That's what you're doing. That's what you're working on right now with this Page of Pentacles. You're working on how to come from this and transform into this. That's what you're working on. This is you. This is where you're going. Some of you are going to have book deals. Some of you are going to be on stages. Some of you are really popular on social media, or you're going to be if you're not already. Really popular YouTube channels. This is not a normal depiction of the Seven of Swords, right? I'm really looking at the imagery here. Sharing to people who were kind of like you, sharing to people who are struggling, telling your story. I'm hearing don't leave out the names. What is that? Name and blame? Or name and shame or something? You know, there's people who they don't want to be named. And I'm hearing, nope, you need to call them out. You need to call them out for the shit they pulled. You need to call them out for the bull. You need to call them out. This is not a joke. Yeah, name and blame or name and shame. You're protected. You're so protected. You are so protected, divinely protected. This is your project. This is all confirmation. This is your project. And yeah, there's people that are going to try and come up against you, right? Five of Wands. There's people who are going to try and come up against you. They haven't been what you've been through. They don't know anything. They do not have your resilience. They do not have your street smarts. They do not know what you know. You have seen things no one else has seen. You have experienced things no one else has experienced. I don't want to say no one else, but I want to say that it is a tiny group of people. These people that are speaking out, they have not experienced it. These people that you're teaching to, they don't even know. They have no clue. They have no clue where you came from and how bad it was. I'm hearing greatest leader of our time. Guys are working to be the greatest leaders of our time. No bull, all smack. Guys aren't holding for no nonsense. I'm going to cut the deck one final time. And of course, this is amazing. Cut the deck one final time, and the card that comes up is the Phoenix. This is an added card in this version of the tarot. This card is not in other decks. I was going to leave it, and I was told, cut the deck one more time, the Phoenix. And that is your energy. You are the Phoenix. This collective is the Phoenix rising from the ashes. This is your energy. This is your essence. This is your being. This collective is the Phoenix. I actually did earlier in the reading. I actually said something about the Phoenix. This is you. This is you. The ultimate alchemist. The ultimate magician. There's an old children's book, and I can't remember the name of it. But essentially, the premise of this children's book was about like a shoemaker or some sort of seamstress or something who was very, very poor. And they were making something from nothing. Right? That's this collective. If I remember the name of the book, I'm going to actually put it in the description for you guys. Because maybe for some of you that'll be like an inner child healing thing, right? But that's you guys, right? It's like, oh, we've got no linens for shirts, and this person's like in the book, and the seamstress or the aunt or whatever, so that's all right. We've always got something. And the whole premise of this book is saying we don't have, and then this other person in the book is coming back saying we always have. It's an old book. I think it's from the 80s. I'm not sure, but I think it's from the 80s. Definitely not something modern. That's you guys. I don't even know what else to say at this point. That's it. That's the perfect card to come out at the end of this reading. The perfect card. The Phoenix. The Ultimate Alchemist. I'm hearing the Ultimate Alchemist. Only a true Gryffindor could have pulled that out of the hat, Harry. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Only a true Gryffindor could have pulled that out of the hat, Harry. When Harry has pulled the Godric Gryffindor sword out of the sorting hat to kill the basilisk with. Only a true Gryffindor. Gryffindor. Courage. Bravery. Tiny bit of recklessness. Loyalty. This collective is so loyal, but you are not granted that loyalty back. You will be. This new chapter you're stepping into, these small projects you've been working on, that loyalty is coming. Those true friendships are coming. Those irreplaceable divine relationships, they're there. They're either here or they're coming, if they haven't come already. You got nothing to worry about. The worst is over. The worst is over. It can only go up from here. I'm going to leave it there to sit with. I know this is a really long reading. I thank you for staying fully with me through this entire reading. The ups, the downs, the darkness, and the light that we've worked really hard to finish this reading off with. One last look at the Phoenix. And I'll see you all in my next video, I hope. Bye for now.